Brilliant. All right, without further ado, Michael and Igor are going to address some of the questions you have.
Do you have time, like 1 hour?
You got yeah, a whole hour and 10 minutes, minus the hour. Yeah.
Let's go fast. So one of the things that there are some blocks, like some from kelp, some from hemp, some from regeneration, some that are like almost could be a philosophical, economical perspective, like how can we stop cutting down trees? There's a way to stop cutting down trees, it's just not cutting. One way of doing is doing regenerative forestry, which is, for example, in Brazil, a company that I worked to do the business plan with them 9 years ago. They do the management of 1 square kilometer, manages 600 species of trees. They will cut trees from every place, from every section, in every 15 years. So they will manage the forest, and they prove that the value of the forest is higher when you work in the services of the forest, in the nuts, in the oils, in everything. When you cut a super big tree in every 15 years, you earn more money because it's bigger. So it's a regenerative way of forestry conservation and regeneration. This is one way. How do you push the alphabetical way to empower people to make that next step? I think there are mainly today I see 2 forms. One is by fear. So some people will react because they are afraid. And some people, they will react because they want to be part of the solution. And it's kind of A or B. I know I'm in Brazil, people are reacting because of fear. The government is destroying everything. The Amazon is on fire. The economy is broken. We can make the list. So people are dying because of COVID, of hungry. 50% of the population is illiterate, considered illiterate. So they react by fear. We have such a wonderful privilege here to choose the other way, to be part of the solution. So I think this alphabetical thing is basically a human essential question, like, am I a spiritual being, and what I want to do with this body? Yeah? Do I want to leave this body as the body that honors the land that will rest? So I need to nurture myself with the best food, because I will be the ashes of my body will be nurturing the food for my grandson. So I will need to do my best. How can we change so-claimed laws that allow us to grow hemp in New Zealand? Then yeah, I invite you to. Thank you, Igor. Hemp activist.
So yeah, just a little bit of an update on where we are with the law. So first of all, when we go out here, we're going to have samples of all the different versions of hemp. So we've got whole raw hemp seeds, we've got hemp hearts, we've got crushed whole raw hemp seeds, and we've got sprouted and freeze-dried hemp seeds, all available out here for you to look at and try. And we also have hemp, which is a combination of the crushed whole raw hemp seeds and the kelp. And so yeah, and there'll be a chance for us to talk about all of that when we get out there. So right now, the whole raw hemp seed is not legal to sell to people that don't have a license, and nor is it legal to sell the flowers and the leaves of the hemp plant. That's illegal, and as a food, and nor is it legal to sell the hemp root as a food. So everyone thinks hemp's legal, but there's actually only a few things that are legal, and the really key things: the whole raw viable seed that you can eat raw, you can sprout, you can microgreen. That's illegal, right? And the hemp flower and the hemp leaf, which is where all the medicinal qualities are also illegal. Now, Richard Barge might be able to answer this. Actually, let's leave this and see what comes out of Richard's talk. But there is a movement in Australia right now to free the whole plant. There's an application being put in by some very high-powered lawyers who have had success with this sort of thing before. So there is possibility that the whole plant could be legalized in Australia. And because New Zealand and Australia food standards are completely connected, they have 6 votes, we have 1. If they change it in Australia, we will get that benefit here. So here's hoping that by the end of next year, hemp is completely legal. But until then, we can all be activists.
There's an important question that I forgot to talk about when I was showing this. What do you mean by incoherence? So what do I mean? My search for incoherence, and that's fundamental to know for me, is what you think, what you feel, what you speak, and what you do are the same thing, and you are not causing any harm for any other sentient being. I think if you reach that, let me know the formula. The other day, Dalai Lama made a joke, and oh, excuse me, it was a bad joke. So even Dalai Lama is not. We still have time, or
Yeah, you got 3-4 minutes.
how do we have such a low amount of iodine in our diet? The soil of New Zealand is poor in iodine, in selenium. So if you eat 3 Brazil nuts per day, you have your selenium per day. If you go to the ocean and get some kelp and eat, you don't need to buy our product, but our product will be selling on the website soon, maybe in 3 weeks, hopefully. What are some of the barriers and roadblocks you're experiencing developing this product? I think mostly the lobby that don't allow us to sell a plant. And what we got the conclusion is, like, if you go to any place, any party, anywhere in New Zealand, you can buy alcohol, you can buy wine, but the same would be, you can buy wine, you can buy beer, or you can buy anything that uses sugar, but sugar cane is illegal. That's what's happening with hemp. Like, the plant is illegal, but you can buy the versions of it, and it's kind of legal. But Al Capone was arrested in the US because he was trafficking alcohol. So the sugar cane is causing the obesity of this country. The 3rd level of obesity in the world is New Zealand, and we are not talking about this drug. So I don't know if there's any misunderstanding here. What problem is this problem? What problem is this problem? Is this product solving for the mainstream customer? I think mainly the iodine, and secondly, like how can we see us part as a solution? Because some of us we still don't know where to start. So this is one way of starting every day, and this is pushing you, and the messages will be positive. We'll be posting all the time. Be part of the solution. Choose to be a planetary citizen. We're not allowing to see ourselves alone anymore, because we are in this together. How does hemp farming serve the transition from ego to eco? Andrew will talk more later, but hemp basically is a mid-sized bush. It's not competing against sunlight. You can introduce lots of other plants together to do a syntropic agriculture or regenerative farming as well. We're going to start trying new techniques there, but it's also a carbon sequestration machine. It's a living being. It sequestrates 4 times more carbon than the plant in the same size. So combined, we're going to be a vacuum cleaner of CO2 with kelp in the ocean and hemp in the land.
Last question.
Last questions. There's about clothing. Basically, the kelp is. Oh.
I was just going to say, there's one here. Can you please go through the regenerative qualities of hemp? So hemp is considered to be one of the most regenerative plants on the planet, and one of the world's #1 phytoremediation plant, which means it repairs the soil. And they planted around Chernobyl hundreds of hectares to clean up the soil after the radiation there. So it has a phenomenal ability to pump carbon down into the soil, because it grows 4 times the rate of trees, 4 times as much biomass as trees. So it is the world's #1 phytoremediation plant, and yes, you can weave it. And there's a lot of talk now about weaving it, and we need to start talking about that later.
All right.
Final, which is very crucial. There are two. What's the story about the pig, the dog? You should tell the do you and we know our carbon footprints? That's a good question because the next industry will be carbon, like selling carbon credits, which is another. We are postponing again the death because it's another industry selling not native trees to sequestrate carbon to put in a cycle that is not generating life. So what are the choices that we are doing that are generating life? Carbon credits are not generating life in long term. It's a short term that shouldn't exist as a solution. It's a transition solution. Okay? I don't know. There are many other questions. Thank you so much. Maybe we can discuss them later.
And there's an hour for lunch later. So if you've got some questions, you want to sit with Igor, I'm sure he'll be available to talk about some of that. Yeah.